Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Boggs fan, and Happy New Year. I'm hoping that 2022 is great for all of you within the hobby. So, this being my first video for 2022, I thought I would do one on what some of my goals are for the year for my collection as well as my channel. So, let's go take a look here. And before I go into my goals for 2022, I set goals for myself at the beginning of 2021. So I thought I would do a recap on what those goals were and whether I met them or not. So the first area was my card collection, and specifically my Boggs collection. My goal was to increase the number of different Boggs cards. That's my overall goal, is to get as many different Boggs cards as I can. I didn't set a specific number of new different cards. I know it seems every year it's getting harder and harder to add as many just because of the cards I've already picked up, and based on the new releases for the year, a lot of them have been really low serial numbered. There are some base cards and inserts and things like that I've been able to pick up. But for this year, I think I will try to have a number in mind. But how did I do? At the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021, I had exactly 5,200 different Boggs cards, and I ended the year at 5,335. So an increase of 135, less than what I added in 2020 and probably less than what I added in 2019. But it was still a really good year, I think, for me, given how difficult it is to increase the number of Boggs cards in my collection. Now, looking at my vintage PSA collection, last year I wanted to try to get collector grade copies of PSA Vintage Hall of Famers. So if it was a card from the 1970s, I was shooting for a 7. If it was a card in the 60s, I wanted to try to get it in a 6, in the 50s, and a 5, so on. As everyone knows, in 2021, in the first maybe quarter, maybe through April of 2021, prices just continue to go up. They have gone down, a little bit, maybe not quite back to quote unquote normal. But I quickly realized that I'm not always going to be able to afford within my budget a collector grade copy. So that is a no. I didn't only get collector grade copies. I was fine if it was a 70s card in a 6. I picked up a couple 50s cards, maybe in a 3. One of them was even a 2, but it was a nice looking copy in my price range. So I'm more moving forward going to be looking more at the by the card, not the grade, and whatever fits into my budget, and it very well likely could be less than a collector grade. All right, I had wanted to expand the years of my collection. I was initially focused on the years 1977 to 1980. I quickly found out when I started my PSA Vintage Hall of Fame collection that there are so many cards out there that I could go after, and I was just getting lost. So I wanted to focus primarily on the years 1977 to 1980. I did fairly well with the 78s and 79s, decently on the 80s, not so much on the 77s in 2020. So I wanted to go beyond that in 2021, and I did. I started picking up some mid 70s cards, early 70s cards, a 60s card here and there. Even picked up my first 1952 Topps card. So yes, I did expand beyond those years, but again, I got to be careful that I don't get too expansive, that I need some focus in my collection there. So I did do that. All right, another goal of mine was to buy 2 to 4 bigger cards. And I say bigger cards outside my normal limited budget per card outside of anything I purchase at the National. And again, when I say bigger cards, it's usually like $100 or more, maybe a couple $100. I was able to pick up two. It was the 1964 Topps Pete Rose and the 1952 Topps Bob Feller. So those I consider in that category of quote unquote bigger cards. Again, beyond anything I picked up at the National. I'm setting aside a little bit, not too much, but a little bit for every pay, and trying to build up a little kitty that I could put toward a quote unquote bigger card than maybe my normal spending on cards. And I had also, going into 2021, not knowing what was going to be happening with PSA, I had thought that maybe I would want to get some of my BVG cards, graded cards, switched over, either a crossover or breaking out the BVG case and submitting them to PSA. Well, that was blown out of the water. It really wasn't a high priority for me. At some point, I would still like to possibly get those switched over or submitted to PSA, since I am building a PSA collection and those BVGs are just out of place. I just want them for good or bad. I'm building a PSA collection and I want those cards in a PSA slab. So didn't do that. All right, I had wanted to attend the National in Chicago and meet fellow YouTubers in the card community, and I definitely did that. I had a blast. It was so good getting a chance to meet so many of you in person, not only for that Thursday get-together, but during the show as well. We would bump into each other, and so I just had a wonderful time, and I am so glad that I made this goal for 2021. All right, what were my channel goals for 2021? Well, I started 2021 at 355 subs, and again, subs are out of my control, okay? But I said it would be nice if I would reach 500 subs. I thought that would be wonderful for only really starting content on YouTube. I think it was March of 2020. So I figured, hey, if I could get to 500 subs by the end of 2021, that would be awesome. Well, I ended 2021, I almost made 600 subs. I was at 596 subs, which was an increase of 241 subs. So I want to thank all of you. And I know I've done this before, but I want to again thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel, who faithfully watch my videos, comment on my videos. I truly, truly appreciate it. Getting to almost 600, almost 100 more than what I thought would be great for 2021 is just awesome. So again, thank all of you. All right, much more content. I think I did overall. Sometimes it was harder. There were periods where I just would stuff going on personally and whatever, didn't have a chance. I may have missed some videos, but if anything, I tried to go back, even if it was a week or two later or a month later. I know I've gone to some channels that, oh geez, I missed that video from say a month ago, and I go watch it. I may not always give a comment. I always give a like because I always enjoy the content that you put out. So yes, I did watch more content, maybe not as much as I had wanted to, but we all have time constraints. Do more hobby talk videos. In 2020, I did 3 of my live sort of hobby talk where I'd have a guest on and we would just talk about random topics about our collections, baseball cards, you name it. I only did 3 in 2021, so it was the same, so I didn't do more. Moving forward in 2022, I may do some. If I do one, it's probably going to be a pretty special one. So I'm hoping that that comes about. We'll see. But I'm not sure how many more of my hobby talk videos I'll be doing, but we'll see. All right, do more shout outs of other channels. Yes, I did more in 2021. but there's a lot more channels that I can do occasional shout outs to, whether that's when I get a care package or just as part of a regular video. Just mention someone's channel because I want to help other YouTube creators grow their channels as well, especially for those that are just starting off, maybe have a couple hundred subs, and just encourage them and other people to watch their channel. Send more care packages. I did send more in 2021 than I did in 2020, although again, that's something that I want to step my game up a little bit more in 2022. All right, 2022 goals. All right, for my card collection, specifically my Wade Boggs cards. Now here, I'm actually setting a target for myself, so we'll see how I do. I would love to end 2022 with a total of at least 5,450 different cards. So that would be an increase of 115. So I did 135 in 2021. So I think 115 could be realistic. It all depends again on what products in 2022 Boggs is included in, and whether they're the high-end, low serial numbered stuff, or whether there are more common, less expensive cards. So we'll have to wait and see. For my vintage PSA collection, I'd like to add at least 100 more PSA graded vintage Hall of Fame cards. Pretty much for the last 2 years, I've averaged around 100. So I think that's fair to have a target of try to get 100 more. So yeah, I'm currently at, I think it's 203 or something like that. 200, anyway, around 200 or so. Vintage PSA graded cards in my collection. I only started that in 2020. So it's a marathon, I know. So yeah, if I could add 100 more, that'd be great. And again, try to buy those 2 to 4 bigger cards outside of the national. That ties into the newest project I have, the 100 cards for $100,000. Most of those cards are $100 or more. There are some in that $75 range. So I can see if I'm able to maybe pick up, I'd love to be able to pick up, I have 5 so far. Hopefully maybe my next video, I'm not sure. If it's not my next video, it would be the video after that. I'm waiting to get 2 in the mail that I bought right at the end of 2021. So in 2021, I knocked off 5 cards of that 100 cards for $100,000. It would be great if I could add 10 more. Since I just started it, in late 2021 doing this. And that includes maybe some stuff I pick up at the National. So it's not on this list here, but as part of that 2 to 4 bigger cards outside of the National, is to maybe try to get, by the end of 2022, to have maybe 15 of those 100 cards on my list of cards that would cost $100,000 to buy. For my 1978 Topps Raw set, I would love to get to 85% completion. Right now, I'm at 70%, so I have 511 of the 726 cards in the set. So in order for me to reach 85%, that would get me to 617, which would be an increase of 106 cards. Now, you would think, oh, picking up 106 cards of the 78 Topps cards that I need shouldn't be a problem. Well, if you've followed some of my videos when I've talked about this set, this is a special set for me. It was the first year I started collecting. So I want to build a raw set that is in great shape. Almost perfect. I mean, really good centered, nice corners, no ink marks on the cards. Ones that if I were to submit to PSA would grade say an 8 or a 9. That's my goal, visually appealing. Now, not all of them would. There may be, I'm sure, some 6s or 7s in there, you know, if I missed a dinged corner or something like that. But for the most part, I want a really clean looking set. Speaking of, in the description of every one of my videos, I have a link to my 1978 Topps checklist. If there are any of you out there who have some sharp-looking 1978 Topps cards, feel free to check out my checklist, see if the ones I'm missing are the ones that you have. Reach out to me, maybe we can work out a deal. Some of the cards I'm missing are some of the star cards. I think I know I'm missing the Eddie Murray rookie card, but I think the majority of them are still commons, semi-stars. It's just a matter of finding really nice copies. I was able to knock off several hundred at the National. Don't know if I go to the National in 2022, whether I'll have the same amount of success or not, but we'll see. And in terms of my PSA Vintage Collection, I am just 2 cards short from completing the 1978 Topps Hall of Fame registry set. I would love to complete that in 2022. The only 2 cards I'm missing are it's a Raleigh Fingers and someone from the Red Sox, I forget who, a Raleigh Fingers league leader card and a Bob Lemon manager card. And I would love to get, I don't need 9s, but I would love to get it in a PSA 8. The problem is, I think there's so few of those cards that have been graded. The population is so small that when they do come up, I think there is one of the Raleigh Fingers League Leaders card, I think in a PSA 9, they want $100 for it. I'm not going to pay $100 for that card. So we'll see, but I'm just missing 2 to complete that registry set. Would love to complete that. That would be my first completed registry set since I started collecting the PSA vintage cards. And this one has big question marks on it. Send cards to PSA for grading. Now, this all depends on how PSA continues to move. They are starting to open up some of the lower scale grading or the cost grading. Who knows what's going to happen in 2022, whether they're going to continue that trend, and at some point, I'd probably be looking in that, $15, maybe at the most $20 submission. The reason why I'm thinking this is not necessarily for those crossovers, because I'd be paying more just because of value. But for some of the cards I'm looking for in PSA graded cards, say on eBay or whatever, I'm thinking that it may be worth trying to find a really sharp looking raw card that I can get for a lot less than what people are currently asking for graded copies. Maybe try my luck. If it's a nice looking card, I don't need it to grade a certain number. I just want it graded. So if I think it is a sharp looking card, if PSA gives it a 5 and it's from 1974, that's fine. I'm not worried about the grade itself. So, but right now at like the $100 level, it just doesn't make sense. So I don't know if that'll happen in 2022 or not. That's why there's big question marks there. Not a high priority for me, but I can see maybe sometime in the future, if grading prices go down, may try to go the route of buying raw and then submitting them for grading rather than trying to find graded copies. All right, in 2021, I started a Topps SP Image Variation collection of Hall of Famers, and I picked up 105, and only over 4 months of 2021. I only started the last 4 months of the year. I started picking these up, and I picked up like 105 of them. So my goal for 2022 is to get at least 150 more. Now, to be honest, the 105 that I've picked up are sort of the low-hanging fruit. not a lot of the major Hall of Famers. So a lot of the cards I was able to pick up for $4, $5, $6, including shipping. I bought a few lots that reduce that per card average. I can see myself, if I especially get to 150 more in 2022, that I'm going to get into some of those more popular Hall of Famers. So we could be talking about $7, $8, $9, $10, $15 a card. So at that price point, I'm probably not going to be able to buy as much. But of course, over an entire year, who knows? So nothing wrong with setting a high goal. So let's see if I can get 150 more of those short print image variations. Of course, attend the 2022 National in Atlantic City. I really want to go. I think I have an opportunity. Just have to talk to the wife. She'd be interested as well. We just have to book a hotel, and I know we need to do that sooner rather than later. But my goal is to attend the National in Atlantic City. So what are my 2022 goals for my channel? Again, really outside my control. I'm at almost 600 subs. Would be awesome if I could grow my channel to 800 subs. That'd be 204. Who knows? We'll see. Hopefully I can continue to put out content that you find interesting and others may find interesting, and hopefully they will subscribe to my channel. But again, completely out of my control, but we'll see how I do. Get more involved with the community. I had mentioned about my Hobby Talk videos. I hadn't been doing as many of them. I may do some in 2022, reach out to some fellow YouTubers to see if they just want to join me for a chat. But I'm just throwing this out there to the members of the YouTube card community. I would love to be on any of your live chats. Feel free to reach out to me if there's a specific topic you want me to talk about. If you just want me to get on and talk about cards, whether it's just me and you or a group of YouTubers, 3, 4 of us, just getting online some evening or whatever, let me know. I would love to participate. So just throwing that out there. Continue to respond to all comments on my videos. I'm getting more and more comments on my videos, which is good, but which means it takes more and more time to respond to those comments. But I feel that it is vitally important that I recognize and respond, even if it may be a quick response or a more detailed response, depending on what the comment is, to every single comment that you leave for me, because you've taken the time to comment on my video, and so I want to reciprocate that and take the time to reply in whatever way I can to your comment. Watch more content. Again, I think that's going to be an annual goal of mine, to the best of my ability, given my personal life and everything else going on. I always want to try to watch more content, and I'm going to do the best that I can. And of course, continue to send more care packages. Again, one way or another, I know there's a bunch of addresses that I need for some of you out there that we interact back and forth. So hopefully there's a way that I can reach out to you. Hey, by all means, reach out to me. My email is in the description or is in my about page on my channel. Hey, feel free to send me your mailing address. Would love that. Don't know when I'd be able to send out a care package, but I definitely want to expand my contacts there to send out more care packages. I guess that is it for my goals for 2022. Let me know in the comments what you think about my goals, and would love to hear. I know some of you have done your own 2022 goals videos. If you haven't done a video, would love to hear what some of your goals for your collection are for 2022. If you enjoyed this video, would appreciate you supporting my channel and hitting that like button. If you missed my previous video, you can check it out right here. And if you're currently not subscribed and you enjoy watching videos featuring vintage and modern baseball cards, you can subscribe to my channel right here, and better yet, click that bell to be notified next time I upload a video. That's all I have for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.